I'm really stupid. Can you educate me a little bit on Marxism? I don't know what it is for real. Marxism.
After the genociders. So welcome everyone, and I finished I apologize, better, no, I know what to, it's the green screen needs to be here, sorry, it dropped. Krishna, better. I guess you're gonna see my door, I don't care. Maybe this light might help a little. No. Okay, this is much better. Approve. Although it is a little bright here. How do I make my, yeah, the brightness is, okay, better. Now okay, it was the sun and not my screen. Okay. So welcome. I need to remember the time stamp so that we can cut this when we're later. Okay. So it looks like Cenk's nephew, Hasan, what did he made? He was trying to explain Marxism to somebody. And so we will see if he knows what he's talking about. So, wait, can you hear me at least? I just want to make sure. Okay, let's see if he knows what he's talking about. So let the fun begin.
Just a theory on how commodity production works under a capitalist organization of
Hold
the
on.
economy.
How do I start over? Got it.
Marxism is just a theory on how...
Wait. Somebody, let's try this again.
Commodity production.
Wait a minute. What's going on here? Oh, I know. Give me one more second. It started a little early, and I forgot. The funniest part is the beginning, so I have to do this. Okay, it's really hilarious. The first part.
I'm really stupid. Can you educate me a little bit on...
I'm really stupid. Can you educate me on Marxism? So I will go to Hasan. Sorry. That was that's why I had to do it. Okay.
Marxism, I don't know what it is for real. Marxism is just a theory on how commodity production works under a capitalist organization of the economy, how we have evolved under the Industrial Revolution and onwards to have our current capitalist production, commodity production, the relationship between those who produce the work, the workers, versus those who profit from the labor that you put in, the bourgeoisie, the capital owners. And the ultimate goal is to democratize the economy rather than just the way that we theorize how our current governance should operate in an ideal world. Like democracy should operate in a certain way, right? With means of accountability in the form of elections. Kind of like that, but for the workplace. There are...
Okay. Can you hear me still? He is Cenk's nephew. So that was not so bad in the beginning, but then this is my awesome producer, Robert. He's the best. But what the hell about the democratization of a workplace? This is what Lenin accused Kautsky of doing, which is turning Marx into a common liberal. So let's listen.
Multiple different ways of arriving at that end goal, but the ultimate goal is for workers to own the means of production. Communism never worked in real life. People who believe in it are delusional. Yeah. Well, capitalism isn't working in real life right now, so okay, fair. Sure, communism never worked in real life.
You are a bloody idiot. It has worked for billions of people in real life. People who say communism does not work, I'll explain what they do. I have a TikTok video about anarchists. If somebody can, like, I will find it later. But basically, this is what they do. So the CIA, okay. Oh, I know what I can do. I'll recreate the video right now. So I'll put the labels so you know who I am at each point. Communists torture kittens and eat babies. So the USSR, DPRK, China, and Laos, Cuba are communists, so they torture babies and eat kittens. Oops, I messed that up. I meant torture kittens and eat babies, or does it even matter? Eating kitten, yeah, okay. Because the USSR, China, Laos, Cuba tortured kittens and ate babies, they're not real communists. And they did not work because they had to torture babies. Oh, wait. Why are you accusing me of repeating CIA talking points? The CIA calls those countries actually communist. I don't. Communism is when you have warp drive. So that was a quick, my TikTok video is actually better. But that is the gist of how they think it does not work. Who does it not work for? It does not work for corporations, inbred royal family members, annoying fascists. Who does it work for? Poor people who have nothing, who don't even own the clothes on their back. And the reason why this is the paradox of communism, in that it worked so well that people don't kind of understand what existed before versus after. So let me see. Yeah, the problem is that it worked like so well that unless you constantly study history, you don't have a before versus after phenomenon. So let's see if I can find that TikTok video where I do the before versus after to show how well communism worked. Damn it. Let's see. So this is the problem, is that if I prepare hand, like I can't watch these videos twice. Like there's not enough drugs in this universe to watch these videos twice. So, oh, okay, I found one. Okay, here's one. Okay, I found one. Yes, I am talking in slow-mo because the main complaint that people have is that I talk too fast. So I would rather talk too slow for dumb people, or sorry, American educated people, than talk too fast for and have people lose me. Oopsie daisy. Shanghai under capitalism in the 1940s, Shanghai under communism. Actually, communism has worked very well for most people. It just doesn't work for greedy corporations. Shanghai under... Oh, I have ADHD. I'm super scatterbrained. So, what happened? So, when you see communism, things before communism, like we showed you the Tibet video, I apologize. Just type. Okay, sorry. If I am scatterbrained, just type scatterbrain distracted, and I can be more thorough and I can go from point A to point B better. So just type and tell me I'm scatterbrained, and then I'm quick to pick up on this and I will start improving. So yesterday's video I showed you Tibet, where they had human skull drums, and actually let's do that on so the problem is that communism worked so well that when you imagine Russia before communism, you're not imagining a Mad Max type of hellscape. No, he doesn't. Of course, I'm doing it for attention, because otherwise, how else am I going to get on his suggested videos? Are you so dumb that you don't understand YouTube algorithms and algorithm surfing? Okay. Anyways, sorry, I had to do this because idiots are, I don't have any mods there, so I can't kick them out. So the thing is that let's go, okay, erase. Let's pretend I hit a restart button. Communism worked so well that you do not imagine what China was before communism. It was a hellscape. You don't imagine what Russia was before communism. People were literally cattle. You don't imagine what Cuba was before Castro. I have tweeted out a photo of these two 10-year-old boys getting executed, for 10-year-olds, for allegedly burning crops. And when the US was in charge, Cubans would get $1.60 a month, maybe. And the US government, or maybe it was $1.60 a day, a week, something very low. And that's my awesome producer, Rob. I can't remember if it's $1. Oh, I have an article about how CIAs work. Read that article where I cite the State Department. So unless you have a historical memory of what things were before and after, you don't understand. On top of that, our media sucks. For example, like I said, the New York Times called him Nick. That is the Tsar of Russia. They called him Nick. And when he had this literacy program, let me see if, where they didn't really do anything, they wrote this really nice puff piece. But then when Lenin eradicated all of illiteracy, they were like, oh my God, are the Bolsheviks eradicating Christianity? And then when you read the Guardian articles where this Guardian dude is complaining about how after Lenin, he sees Muslims being too Muslimy in public and he sees Jews being too Jewy in public as the biggest problem, you kind of don't understand that the reason why you're not allowed to be that racist anymore is probably because of the in public. It's probably because of the communists. So that's the first thing. The second thing is a lot of people have even asked me questions about, wait, you showed Shanghai in 1940 and now you're showing it 80 years later. Wouldn't industrial development happen automatically? No. Factories are not built in nature. You need a human to build them. You need somebody to do the machines. You need whatever and whatever. And if you are an imperialized colony, like every communist country right now is, they need you for your raw material extraction. So they will not allow you to have a factory because they know that you live there. They don't. And all it takes is for you to just like storm it, like people did Bastille, and take over the factory and kick out the imperialist. So what they do is they bomb any factories you build. So you'll never own so the word, too many Americans say words where they don't know what it means. Means of production is the machine thing that makes stuff. And if you have a factory is an easy example that people can visualize. If you have a factory, you can just go boom, 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 boom. And let's say you have a cup factory. A potter is going to take an hour to make. A potter is going to take an hour to make one cup. How many can a factory can spit out 1,000 cups in less than 10 minutes? I bet you. And if you have a factory, you can make those 1,000 cups, and because you're not a potter and you didn't use all that labor, you can sell it for 10 cents instead of a potter's needing like $10. And so you can flood the country with cups and put all the potters out of the business and then employ them in the mines where you underpay them. So because of the way imperialism works, no, if China had not had its communist revolution, Shanghai would not look like that. We have, oh boy. Okay, to this, let me see if this works. Oh, come on. Seriously? Okay, so I will. Have they overthrown any czars? No. Then you take their opinion, stuff it in a garbage bag, and toss it. So we've had this debate before. Lenin spoke about it with Bernstein, and we realized that at the end, if you try to reform your way to socialism, the Social Democratic Party will be singing Deutschland, Deutschland über alles while clapping for Hitler. Yeah, that was exactly Deng's plan. Brilliant plan. That's also was Stalin's plan, 5-year plan. So the idea is that you take advantage of their greed and say, hey, we have cheap labor here that you can underpay, ha ha ha. But you're gonna have to give us the ways to build the factory, and we can also give us like, I don't know, 10% stock but we're the government, so we'll always win because we can change the laws whenever it suits us. So then they bring Henry Ford was like, cheap slaves. And then he came. And then after 5 years, the contract was over and they're like, okay, go away. And then my favorite moment is, well, let me show you. Is when okay, I have to think somebody in the Soviet Union was trolling, because otherwise I don't know. It was really funny. So you know the tanks that they rolled into Berlin. Okay, Henry Ford was a fascist, so you know that the tanks that they rolled into Berlin. Some of it was a Ford tank. So that is the way. So Deng took Stalin's 5-year plan and made it into a 50-year plan, but it is still a really awesome idea because capitalists are like, my intellectual property. And then they are cocky because they think that they're going to coup you. So that's what the Clintons thought, that they were going to be able to coup China or whatever. Nixon thought that. And now they're just kind of upset that capitalists, that the people they think who are inferior to them, who were supposed to be their slaves, decided to not be their slaves anymore. And that is how Deng, and then the funny thing is that they also allowed, the funny thing is that they were so cocky. Found it. Okay, I found this. Okay. You see these tanks? There are 4 tanks. Salute. Я стоят советские танкисты, выбери, люди ястреби, гремят нам, перекаивают стали, машины из воруби вон, когда нас бой патриот товарищ Сталин и первой войну. So that's kind of what happened. So basically now if you read all the China is doing genocide and China is curing too much cancer, it is these absolute ghouls being upset that somebody just outsmarted them. No, he didn't. Mao was dead when that happened. Long story. I'm not going to talk about the Sino-Soviet split. It's really not worth it. Most of you are not at that level. Exactly. The empire always strikes back, and it strikes back with a vengeance. Let's continue.
Okay, how about that? Let's just say it didn't, okay? Those very same metrics of success are also literally not working in real life right now under a capitalist organization of the...
Also, those metrics of success works really well under communism because people in China are not dying of cholera, and people in Russia are not hauling barges uphill the Volga and not dying of cholera, and people have toilets they can flush, and people are not going where you don't have child slaves in factories or child slaves in mines in China. You have children going to school. China cured illiteracy. You know that the Sandinistas, they, under Ana Navarro's dad's regime and his friend's regime, the literacy rate was 30%. 5 months later, they had taught 87% of the people how to read. 5 months in power. Sandinista. 50 years of the Somozas in power, nothing. 5 months of Sandinistas, boom. And so, yeah, I know I don't want to talk about this. I'm going to kick you off the stream if you continue. Okay. I have to. So, also is a lie. The propaganda is in the center. Reality is here. Reality is super tanky. For example, there's a saying when people say something like, when Lenin, I don't know if they say it over Lenin or Stalin, but when one of them is wrong with somebody, it goes like something. I think it's over Stalin, but this is true also with Lenin. It's like when Stalin is wrong, he is... No. When Stalin is right, he is right. When he's wrong, he's also right. I had that firsthand experience with Lenin. So I was this Finnish fascist on TikTok was like, no, Baron Mannerheim did not kill 70,000 socialists or something like that. Well, and then she was like, you have to go check the records. Well, my original was based on whatever Lenin estimated in his piece. So then I went and checked the records from the Finnish government themselves. Guess what? They had not killed 70,000 people. That is correct. They had killed closer to 250,000 people. So even though Lenin was wrong, he had underestimated it because if somebody was missing or whatever, he just didn't count it. So reality was like, yeah, Baron Mannerheim is worse. You should have just not questioned Lenin and stayed there, and it would have been better for you. So that's kind of the thing, is that they try to make the best the CIA can do is kind of muddle it. You can't make poop look like gold, but you can throw a lot of poop on gold and make gold look icky. So what they'll do is that they'll try to muddle it, and you have to be smart and check things. Oh, you have to be good at math and not stupid. So you have to check things like life expectancy, literacy rate, how many children are going to school, who's dying of cholera, all sorts of things. And you will see that communism works.
Economy. So what do? Do we just keep crying about how communism didn't work, or do we try to fix the system that we're currently existing under? I say we fix the system that we're currently existing under through a series of reforms. Pretty sure this is capitalism working.
I wish I was on screen because I'm a little hot, so I was kind of cooling off. I face palmed. No. You can't reform your way out of capitalism. Check what happened to the German Social Democratic Party, and things went really bad. And if you allow that to happen, what will happen is that towards the final stage of capitalism, the bourgeoisie is going to put in a Hitler or a Mussolini, and you're going to have a lot of death and misery, and the reformists will be clapping for Hitler while singing Deutschland, Deutschland über alles. And once more, I must reiterate the thing that's wrong with Hasan. Have they overthrown any czars? No. Then you take their opinion, stuff it in a garbage bag, and toss it. So that is what's wrong with Hasan, is that he has not read Lenin clearly, or anyone else. You don't even need to read Lenin. You can read literally anyone else who's not. Slavoj Žižek will tell you this won't work. Almost anyone else. Anyone decent. Tito, Enver Hoxha, I don't know. Literally anyone. But Lenin's the funniest of them all. That's why I tell people to read Lenin, because Lenin's hilarious.
Really? You think it's working? It's working for you, maybe, because you're on.
No, that guy was. Let's try it. Let's see. I hate it when.
In real life right now under a capitalist organization of the economy. So what do? Do we just keep crying about how communism didn't work, or do we try to fix the system that we're currently existing under? I say we fix the system that we're currently existing under through a series of reforms. Pretty sure this is capitalism working? Really? You think it's working? It's working for you, maybe.
The funny thing was that the idiot on his Twitch stream is right. This is capitalism working as it has been designed. Anyone who has not uses the word democratic, yes, I respond to Twitch. Anyone who, the main problem is if you're on Twitch, you ask really stupid questions. So if you ask really stupid questions, I will not respond to it. So if you're on Twitch, ask smarter questions and I'll respond more. The problem is that they have not read Lenin, and the problem is not that they have not read Lenin, is that the problem is that they have not understood that there is no such thing as democratic capitalism, because we know this from America. You know what happened when Colorado tried to ban fracking in the local district via democratic vote? Alec came in, the state stepped in and said, hey, districts, you can't have the will of the people. That's illegal. We're going to override it. And they literally had a bill passed called something like fracking preemption bill. When Cleveland tried to raise its minimum wage, the corporations came in and the governor and the legislation said, hey, city workers, you can't democratically vote to increase your wages. And the bill was literally called the Minimum Wage Preemption Act. So you can never have capitalism with democracy, because the minute the will of the people conflicts with the will of capital, democracy goes out the window. as we have seen with almost, there's the minimum wage preemption. Go to ALEC, ALEC dot whatever their thing is, you'll see, and just go search the word preemption. Those are all the times where capitalism has overruled democracy. Democracy is the will of the people winning, no matter what. Capitalism is allowing some jackass who is probably related to the queen to build a factory thanks to the queen's concessions, and then because of that factory he gets to control all of society. And so you can't have democracy and capitalism. And you'll notice this over and over. I really need an assistant to... Sure. Sure. Do you guys... I want to... If everyone's okay with this, I can do that. I just need... I'll put up a poll, and if we get this... Yeah. I will do it. Like, this is like literally torture. It's like so hard to... it makes my head... I hate it. I hate having to... God, it sucks. It really sucks. So I'll put up a poll, and I'll put up a poll. Okay, so let's see. How do we do this? I look better on YouTube than I do in my own monitor. That's good. Not that you guys care, but I'm like, oh, good. Okay, let's see. Okay, I put up a poll here, and just let me... I put up a poll on YouTube, but I have not done that on Twitch. Okay, I'll figure out how to do that on Twitch later. Okay, but sure. Not for all the millions of stupid people who listen to Hasan. It is worse than ineffective. Last time they tried this, the Social Democratic Party literally welcomed in Hitler. And you know what happened to Kautsky's wife? She died in Auschwitz. Kautsky became poor, kicked out. And so for selling out, what did he get? Nothing. Nothing. Yeah. Kautsky's wife died in... I tweeted out this before. It was from a New York... So, yeah. And then you like realize that... And Kautsky was mad and never would ever admit that Lenin was right. But the fact that Lenin's wife did not die in Auschwitz, but she died of old age, proves that Lenin is right. By the way, Nadezhda Krupskaya... No, I'm not pronouncing her name right. I'm pronouncing it wrong. But Nadezhda... Can somebody get me the Cyrillic characters of her name so I can pronounce it right? Lenin's wife, Nadezhda Krupskaya. I think that's it. It's really witty, sharp, and I'm reading her book. It's called Nadezhda Krupskaya Remembers. It's so adorable. It's funny because she alternates between when she's referring to him. So in Russian, you don't like call somebody, if you're like respectful, you're going to be calling him Vladimir Ilyich. And so you'll be like, Vladimir Ilyich, how are you doing? But then if you're, so what happens is that when she's talking about him, she's like, Vladimir Ilyich, blah, 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 blah. But then when she recounts conversations, she's like, Volodya, which is just like, I don't know, calling somebody like Mikey. And so that part's kind of funny. And it's so adorable how she doesn't realize that she was like, Lenin was really interested in learning about learning about these factory workers, and that's why he would visit me every Sunday for lunch. And it was like, no, that's not why he visited you. He visited you because he loved you. It's like so adorable that she didn't realize that he was like visiting her all the Sundays and hearing her talk for like hours. And the proposal is also so adorable. Lenin is in Siberia, and he writes a letter to his mom saying, "You should meet Nadezhda Krupskaya." And then his mom writes a few weeks later, she's like, "Oh yeah, you guys are getting, we all discussed this, and you guys are getting married." And so she proposes on his behalf, and yeah, it's really funny and adorable.
Because you're on Twitch, you can watch me. You know, we're slowly destroying the fucking planet because we care more about the profit motive than the lives of the next generation that will come before us. I mean, that come after us. I mean, there's so much death and destruction all around the world. Yeah, it's far away, so we're not seeing it. But then we do kind of see it because we send those foot soldiers over there. We send those foot soldiers over there that do death, destruction, and destabilization. They come back in a state of disrepair. We don't even fucking offer them the social safety nets that we told them they would get only if they sold their body to the American imperialist war machine. Doesn't seem like it's working. I mean, it's working for some. Working for me, motherfucker. I'm doing all right. Okay, I am working for the factory owner. Working for those who are executives at massive corporations, working for the fucking finance bros. But it's not working for your dad. It's not working for you. It's certainly not working if you unfortunately had a shitty spawn point, spawned in a developing nation that is going to be destroyed by America's long dick because they have natural resources that need to be extracted, or a labor force that needs to be exploited. They were agreeing with you, and that was their point. Oh, yeah, well, that is capitalism working as intended. Yes. We here in the United States of America live under the comfort of being a part of the labor aristocracy. So our relationship, no matter where we are as a worker, our relationship with the means of production might be similar, like a worker in a developing nation, okay? The reality is we recognize that you wouldn't be able to have those same material possessions and commodities for as cheap as you currently do if it wasn't for the other worker that's being super exploited overseas, like the Indonesian child laborer is working in a fucking sweatshop. So the entire system is run by exploiting the third world, the global south. And
he's actually right on this one. He's not bad so far. No, you need to go to Marxism. There's a website called Marxism.org. Marxists.org. Go there if you want to learn about Marxism. This part's not bad. Okay, so he's already far ahead of Pinochet. We called her Pinochet as opposed to Contra. Like, who names themselves? Okay, let's continue.
You kind of recognize that, so you're like, yeah, it's kind of working. I have McDonald's. Things are all right for me. I can fucking order a Big Mac and shit, but it's not. You no longer leftist reform capitalism? What? When have I ever strayed away from social democracy in the short term, socialism in the long term?
What? That is a word. The reason why, so you know how they got their social democracies is using Lenin's method. A lot of people don't understand why Denmark has so many social nets. You know why? Well, it's because of the Danish Communist Party. Right before the British invaded, they went on this nice Nazi killing spree where they went and killed all the collaborators. And then that scared the imperialists, and they were afraid, oh my God, Denmark's gonna go communist. Okay, Danish workers, here. We'll exploit more abroad, but don't, please don't. And I've actually had an episode where I interviewed this really awesome bank robber. He is the closest thing, Torkil Lausen, he is the closest thing that you have to Robin Hood. He would rob banks in Denmark and send the money over to apartheid to fight apartheid South Africa and what's the other country? Palestine. So So yeah, no, social democracies are compromises that come from Lenin's method. And we literally talked about this yesterday when we did once more about the Cadet Duma and Lenin's really. Can somebody tweet this out to Hasan or something like that next time he does it and tell him to stop being such a stupid idiot? I mean, I can welcome him on Sundays with Lenin and have him read so he'll be less dumb. I didn't have a dramatic pause. I forgot to take my ADHD medicine and I forgot where I was. So I was trying to remember my sentence that I was trying to say so that I could finish the sentence moment. Yeah, Hasan is way better than Contra. At least he has not named himself after a Nicaraguan death squad, but he does work for a company that have named themselves after an armed Turkish genocidal group. No, that was literally me forgetting. Wait, what was the sentence I was on? I got distracted. I need to remember my sentence so I can finish it. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, like I feel like I've been over this 100 times and 110 times, but let's try it again.
Like, it's literally always been what I've advocated for. The fuck do you mean? Like, literally since day one, I've been advocating for that. And a lot of people, like a lot of Marxist Leninists, for example, fucking hate that approach. Okay? Because I'm a fucking revisionist. I've been watching some YouTube videos.
He does not know what the word revisionism means. In order to revise Marxism, you need to first establish Marxism. So, you cannot be a revisionist if you have not established Marxism. And I'm extra slow because it seems like I'm annoyed that literally this has been said and done 120 years ago, and I have to make these streams because none of you guys will read. Just go to, these are free books you can download. Go to Marxist.org. Lenin's collected work, Lenin's selected work, everything is free. And Lenin's hilarious. He's fun to read. Just do it. It's not that hard. So you're not a revisionist. You are an idiot. Because what you do not understand is that the bourgeoisie has what we call a hegemony, and you are under the impression let's see. Yeah, unfortunately it looks like they want me to continue debunking Hasan, so I am okay. So there are some things where I allow for democracy, and some things I don't. Like for comments, no, I am an authoritarian dictator. You're gonna you don't have free speech on my comments. I will bar you for saying things that are irritating to me, and I don't care. Literally, you can't irritate me. Like I will bar you. But I will be democratic about topics we cover. So it looks like we are, yeah, sorry about that. Le Pizza wanted to do Renegade Kautsky and the Proletarian Revolution. Okay, so no, you are an idiot who does not even understand the problem, so you cannot be a revisionist. I've got a better Lenin clip. Just wait.
You and understand that you're against the concept of meritocracy, but I don't understand how people would be pushed to progress. Even myself, I wouldn't be pushed to do more if I wasn't rewarded. Dude, you wouldn't be pushed to do more in this current organization of the economy. The point is, I'll explain it to you easily, okay? When I worked for someone else, I was still doing something that I loved.
You are working for your uncle. I have not watched Lukashenko's press conference yet, so I will refrain from making comments about things that I have not watched. I hope this can be a lesson for people like Hasan and Contra, so that they can refrain from making comments about things they have not read. He is Cenk Uyghur's nephew. He is his older sister's son. He is Cenk Uyghur's nephew, older sister's son. Nephew, older sister's son. Cenk is his uncle.
Okay, and I worked really fucking hard at it. But the fruits of my labor were never...
You worked hard at DYT. Doing what? Like saying really stupid things in front of camera? Seriously, come on.
Never mine, okay? I had to do everything I can to make my own way within that corporate structure.
By having your uncle give you all the free publicity and putting you on his million viewer show, and then doing a Twitch where you realize that your uncle is getting too cringe, and you and your uncle say, "Hey, Uncle Cenk, I'm gonna now start doing the younger folks because you handled the boomers." What the hell are you talking about? You are Cenk Uyghur's nephew.
Even though it was a startup, so I had a lot more leeway, a lot more bandwidth to be
It's your uncle's startup, you idiot.
able to experiment with certain things. And because of a lack of division of labor there, I was able to show that, like, this is literally what I'm doing. But they could very easily take away my IP, give it to other people, cut
It's your uncle.
my fucking time, and
Uncle.
tell me, you can't do that anymore, you have to do this instead. That is alienation from your labor, okay?
That is not alienation from your labor. And this is gonna, you know what's really, I did a thread a few years ago about how people made their billions, and like 9 out of 10 of them was usually like a rich uncle. Like Harley Davidson. William Harley had a rich uncle. No, don't rewind, please. Hasan was whining about how hard he worked, and I was like, uncle. How do you say uncle in Turkish? Somebody teach me how to say uncle in Turkish. Yeah, Hasan is literally Cenk Uyghur's sister's son. Uyghur, I don't know how to pronounce. Uyghur, I don't know. Whatever, sister's son. Sister's son. That is, yeah, he does not know what alienation from labor is. And let's see, we need to explain. Okay, so in Lenin's I hate Kautsky. I really hate Kautsky. There's a piece called I really hate. Who's it? Who responded to Aaron Mate? What? I don't know. Okay. I will. He explains this. I'm talking about State and Revolution. Oh, also, you can always tell if they've read it or not, but because it's. Am I really? Is it? I really, really, really hate Kautsky. Let's see. My mouse is not working. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Okay. On the other hand, the Kautskite distortion of Marxism is far more subtle. Is this big enough? Probably not. Okay. Theoretically, it is not denied that the state is an organ of class rule or that class antagonisms are irreconcilable. But what is overlooked or glossed over is this. If the state is the product of the irreconcilability of class antagonisms, if it is a power standing above and alienating itself more and more from it, it is clear that the liberation of the oppressed class is impossible not only without a violent revolution, but also without the destruction of the apparatus of state power, which is created by the ruling class, which is the embodiment of this alienation. So, yeah, what happens is that there's a second way of also looking at alienation in a more, where Marx talks about commodity fetishism. So everyone in the First World Contra, the Pinochet, him, they don't actually realize, because they've never actually had to go without. I'll answer this later. How to go without is very, very confusing. For example, they don't actually realize that there is a logistical reason for famine, like crop failure, like the rain not happening. They don't realize that the reason why you can buy cups is because there are millions of people like bringing cups to you, etc., etc. So, so what happens is that is another type of alienation where the working class kind of don't realize how things work because they've outsourced everything. So those are the two kinds of alienation. And Lenin also uses the word alienation as in just like confiscation, but Hasan's not thinking about it. And it says, uncle, you idiot. Okay. So the first step in achieving communism where you live is the same first step that Lenin took. It is building a working class press, an all Russia newspaper. Lenin called this iskra, which means spark. So we don't have any working class presses. So you need to build a newspaper that covers working class news, read where to begin and what is to be done on what you need to cover in your working class newspaper. So that is literally the first step in achieving Marxism, is building a working class newspaper. It could be a YouTube channel too, or a whatever you want, but it has to be from somebody who's read a lot of theory, who knows what they're doing, who has a lot of energy, who can cover these local stories, etc. And so, yes, this is how you begin. You start a working class newspaper and you figure out how to get it. This is the hard problem. Any one of us can start a newspaper. You can just go to www.letmestartnewspaper.com. The problem is that how do you distribute it to the largest segment of the working class? I don't know the answer, because if I did, I would have done it already. So this is a new problem that you have to solve, is how on earth are you going to distribute your newspaper to every working class person in your country, so that they also understand why Maddow is wrong, why, like, to get them to like shut off all the other propaganda and get them to critically think. So that's literally the first step, according to Lenin. And Mao did the same thing. Mao was a librarian. A lot of people don't know this, but he would hide revolutionary books. Like he would like change covers so people would like. It was really cool what he did. Okay. Oh, and Pinochet. Like Pinochet, because she called her. Let me see if I can do it. Yeah, this is her new name. Okay, let us continue.
This is a Marxist concept easily defined by alienation from your labor. You have no control over what you do. You go into work and your fucking boss tells you this is what you're going to do. Here are your key performance indicators that you have to hit. Here are your targets that you have to hit. And you're basically a cog in a machine where you fucking generate revenue for your bosses. Obviously, you don't, that's not desirable. Of course, you're not going to fucking work super hard. It's the most human thing to want to work for as little as you possibly can and get paid the most. That's what you want as a worker. And your boss wants to extract the maximum amount of surplus value from you. So they want you to work as hard as you possibly can for the least amount of money they can pay you and get away with. Basic principles of how
he's actually a lot better than Contra
works. This is like normal human shit. The point is, if you had an ownership over the means of production, if you had more ownership over what you were doing, if you had more control over what your output was going to be, you would be excited to work. You would love what you're doing. Even if you're doing something that is backbreaking, menial, you would still recognize that this is necessary work that you must do because you're achieving something for yourself. And the example I will always use is, look, I fucking work for myself, dude. I do. That's why I don't mind streaming fucking 8 hours a day when I limit my...
Come on. Don't be annoying. Please. Okay. You're a bad example. The good example is Yakov Pavlov, because he understood what was at stake. He and his 4 friends killed like 400 Nazis. I don't know, lots of Nazis, like to the point. I've written an article about, actually, let's do that. I need a nice palette cleanser. I will show you about Pavlov's house. Yeah, I definitely needed that. I mean, yeah, we're video editing mine. Okay, this is adorable. See, this is all, okay, I'm not joking. Nazis lost more soldiers trying to take this 4-story house in Stalingrad than they did all of Paris. Thanks to Yakov Pavlov. Well, he was a farmer, and he went into the army. And what happened is that there was nothing really special about him, other than the fact that he was the only one. Okay, he was 21, and the reason why he and 30 soldiers were sent into Stalingrad, and the thing that made him the leader was the fact that he was the highest ranking person alive. And this was my favorite, his order: do not let the Germans take the structure, do not let them reach the river, hold until death, and keep holding after death until, if possible. So what he did is he set up these things and went bing, bing, bing. And for the next 52 days, whenever German infantry attacked and crossed the square, Pavlov's soldiers would shoot them down. So he realized that there was a weak spot here in the German tanks. So he would use his anti-tank rifle and just go boom, and the thing would go whoosh and explode. And here is all the Germans surrendering. And later he became a member of the Duma. And today, this is Pavlov's house, still alive and fun. Okay. So now that's what workers do when they realize what they, and that's actually, yeah. You don't have to make yourself relatable. Engels never lied and said, my dad didn't own a factory. He said, because my dad owned a factory, I know what a jackass my dad is. He could have done that. He could be like, because my uncle is a right-winger who named his show after these genocidal maniacs, I know why that is wrong. Yeah, he does not have to do that. You don't have to be dishonest. You can be honest. Marx was a bourgeoisie. Engels, Che Guevara, none of them lied. You do not have to lie. Truth is, yeah, that shows you that he doesn't have dialectical materialism and he doesn't mind lying to people. Yeah, has Che ever lied? No. We know that if his father had an hacienda or something, and then like he's like, oh, I didn't realize, like, Che was awesome. Like he basically went around South America and he's like, oh my God, this is horrible. Look at everything these fucking imperialists are doing to us. Correct. Che never lied. That's and then we all love Che. And yeah, Che never, and so what you see is that, yeah, you don't have to lie. Engels, the reason why Engels knew about the factory conditions is because his dad owned a factory in Manchester, and he's like, oh my God. And then he wrote Conditions of the Working Class in 18 something something. Marx was Marx's wife was some sort of Prussian or maybe aristocracy. Enlai Zhao was pretty wealthy. Ho Chi Minh. So you don't have to lie. Sometimes if you're wealthy, you can see both ends of what happens. You can see the exploiters and the exploitation. And because you see both ends and you have a conscience, it can bother you, like it did with Engels, Che. Even Lenin's family was, for a while, Prussian? Is that right? Is that how you pronounce it? Prussian? Russian? Prussian? Yeah, Simon Bolivar, he's the best example. Whenever they try to do Prussian, I don't know, teach me how to make little videos about how to teach me to, how about this? So reply to me on Twitter and with like, say, hey, you have to follow me, because if you're going to troll me, you have to follow me. Make a little video and say, this is how you actually pronounce things. So what happens is that I read stuff and I don't know how, so when you read stuff, but when you come across a word by reading, you can just kind of mispronounce it in your head for hours, for years, in fact. So actually it would be useful for me if you were to say, tweet out a video of how to pronounce things. Brush, Prussian. Thank you. Prussian. Got it. Yeah. Anytime I do it, just like tweet out and say, hey, you mispronounced this word. I still can't do the, actually, I'll do it later. But yeah. Yeah, don't lie to people when you're Cenk's nephew.
Hours. Like, that's why I didn't mind streaming 42% of the entire year last year, because I get to get the return. Yeah, I have 30,000 micromanagers who tell me like, dude, what the fuck? I can't believe you're, changing your hair, or I can't believe you're fucking, not covering this like weird thing that I want you to cover. It's fucking bullshit. But I can ban them. I have complete control. When you're in the service industry or when you're in a job, you don't have that control. You can't tell your manager to suck your cock, okay? You will get fired. And when you get fired, you will have to rely on social safety nets that are lackluster at best, okay? Ineffective. And also, you will lose your fucking health care, which is terrifying. I no longer have those fears. I have still some alienation from my labor, obviously. But having said that, because, Amazon still owns and operates these platforms, I still have certain regulations that I have to abide by. I have contracts that I I have contractual obligations that I need to follow, all that good stuff. However, I have significantly less alienation from my work. So my goal, my hope is that people can all get to a point where even if they're fucking cleaning toilets, okay, even if they're in the service industry, they recognize that what they're doing is bettering their own lives. They are getting positive incentives rather than the negative incentives of lack of remuneration if you are fucking fired. Because everything that motivates us right now under our current design.
Okay. So this is why he's kind of stupid and annoying, because you know what? This is really stupid, and yeah, this is like, I'm gonna work in the mine, thus you twitch mines. No, real. Okay, let me see if can somebody should find this, but let me see if I can find it. But I did a video a few weeks ago about child slaves, and actually let's find it on my Twitter, because this is really, really, my God, I have not heard anyone this stupid. So let's look at what happens in mines in Congo. See? This is okay, so this group was funded by like all these like Elon Musk and stuff, so they don't have any. If anything, they would have underreported how many armed groups. 50% of all the mines in DR Congo have death squads to same group. 11% of the children between the ages of age three are working in cobalt mines. Only 49% age three. So he sounds like such a whiny ass bastard. Shut the fuck up. God, this is yeah.
Under our current organization of the economy is the fear that you will fucking die, the fear that you won't be able to put a roof over your head, the fear that you won't be able to put food on your table, clothes on your back. If you don't work, you're not going to get those things. I would rather switch that in its entirety and make you work for the true freedom, make you work because you want to. So that's why I always say, like, dude, you're not fucking lazy, you just hate your job, and it's understandable that you hate your job. How are you going to be proud of your work when it's just to clean toilets? Who's going to clean the toilets if you don't clean the toilets, dumbass? You want the toilets overflowing with shit? That's a profoundly important part of a fucking workplace.
He's right. Yes. According to that study, which I can put, it is at the IPS group age 3. Let me see. I will put it after, I will tweet this out after the stream, but yes, they said age 3. Yes. Children as young as age 3 are working in cobalt mines in Congo. Yeah, it's horrific. I can't watch that video. But it's horrific. It's horrific. Yeah, so, and you're talking about a Twitch stream, and this is why, because really, he's not, I mean, and this is why he's okay with reforms, because his children are not working. Oh, he doesn't have any children, but Cenk's children are not working in cobalt mines in Congo, and he's like, reforms are fine because I'm not working at age 3 in a cobalt mine in Congo.
And no one wants to do it. Sure, but I would say using yourself as an example is kind of confusing, because it's not the same as working 9 to 5 at fucking McDick's. How would Marxism make working at a fast food place more rewarding? What would ease the alienation? There was
let me explain. There would be no fast food places in Marxism. You'd have a nice, wonderful chef who would cook, because remember, we're all saving the labor. So what will happen is that we as a community will decide, hey, well, since we're all gonna work, but we don't want to eat shitty food, so we're gonna have some chefs cook for us, and you won't have a McDonald's under Marxism. You'll have good food. In China, even school cafeterias, every school cafeteria has halal food. And my dad taught in China for one term, and he was telling me how it's like there's so much good, there's actual health, like chefs inside of the school cafeteria. Same in Vietnam. You have like really, and they also teach you how to cook inside of schools in China, like for children, so that they know how to make nourishing meals. Like lunchtime isn't like in America where you just go to tray, get goop, whatever goop, like it's barely edible goop in school, like completely barely edible food. And no, they actually then like teach you about, like the chef will teach you about nutrition and how to chop food and how to cook it. So it is a much better experience. So there will be no McDonald's under Marxism. You'll have good food that is nutritious.
Incredible example from a pizza place that I will show you, okay? There was a...
I got a better example. See, this is why you have to be racist. Let's see. Oh, look at, okay, I've got a much better example instead of a stupid pizza place. When what are you interested in learning about? That's what I would say. Lenin opined on everything, including like margarine. I kid you not. I don't know what PRL is, but let me show you a better example. Look at this. Every word, like they had these chefs, and because they were in the Soviet Union, they had fantastic food that tasted good. Look at this. Better than a pizza place. See all the fruits, vegetables. Look at this. I mean, anyways, I just Googled Soviet. I used Yandex actually for Soviet chef, and that's what I got. I don't know what PRL is. Well, thank you for coming. I can, let's see. Let me see if I can do some more. Yeah, Yandex is actually really cool. Look at this. You don't have to eat at a fucking pizza place anymore. Like, it's so... Okay, yeah, Yandex is actually a lot better than Google. See, look at all the fantastic... Oh my God. Fresh food. Oh my, look at how nice it looks. Actual food as opposed to fake food. Oh my God. Oh, see, so much soup, real food. These are all Soviet cafeterias where workers would eat at. Like, I mean, like, compare that to the fake. Look at this and compare that to look at like all the fresh vegetables, the tomatoes, and compare that with the crap with the pizza place. Like, what the hell? Yeah, these were the worker cafeterias. So why would you want to, I don't know, like, you don't ever have to eat pizza ever again.
pizza shop. There was a pizza shop in Ohio that decided to distribute a day's profit amongst his employees.
Huawei isn't on board.
One fucking day. Turns out, you know what happened?
Me too.
220
Every
orders.
single
the
night.
shop
Me
shared
too.
that it received about $6,300 in sales and $1,200 in tips, which would be divided amongst its employees. It thanked all its customers. They got $78 an hour. That, when adjusted to their regular fucking payment, which is like around $12 an hour or whatever the fuck, if they're lucky, implies that whatever that difference is literally what is known as surplus labor value. What you are generating for the business that you are not getting back. Capitalists understand it as profit. It is the most normal thing in a capitalist organization.
Hold on, don't cry.
Now,
listen to Lenin. I'll show you something.
That you can immediately remedy the situation. Wouldn't you have to subtract some of that to pay for ingredients and utilities and rent? Yes, of course. Of course. Now, in a democratic organization, what you do with the $75,000 or what you do with the additional money that you have generated in the form of profit would be democratically decided on. So in a democratic design, in a workplace,
by the way, in the USSR, sometimes they decided that, hey, we're going to send all children to school. And then like you have anarchists be like, authoritarianism. And you're like, no. We have this surplus value. We're going to say, hey, let's not use child slaves anymore. By the way, even Lenin predicted this. The USSR is still, somebody made this dumb comment. So I put up this video. And so somebody said the real ones know that the USSR died in 1953. No, the real ones know. Hold on, let me just make sure that the sound is being shared. So let's try this again. This is what Lenin predicted.
Then advanced Europe will raise a cry about civilization, order, culture, and fatherland. It'll set the guns in motion and, in alliance with Yuan Shikai, that adventurer, traitor, and friend of reaction, crush a republic in backward Asia. All the commanders of Europe, all the European bourgeoisie, are in alliance with all the forces of reaction and medievalism in China. Yes. But all young Asia, that is, the hundreds of millions of Asian
billions people, now,
right?
Go ahead.
has a reliable ally in the proletariat of all civilized countries. No force on earth can prevent its victory, which will liberate both the peoples of Europe and the peoples of Asia. You know, man, I hope this is true. Because, like, I don't know, like the proletariat of all civilized countries, like AOC is like talking about Uyghurs in China, and
but Lenin didn't consider U.S. a civilized country.
See, even Lenin predicted that it would be China that was going to lead the red flag. So there was a lot of things that was hard with the USSR. The first thing is that when you have 27 million, like it was the propaganda war, in that when you have 27 million dead people, everyone else has PTSD, and you can't actually like talk about how bad capitalism leads to fascism and do all that World War II, because half the people are gonna like start attacking garbage cans, and they were stuck. So there was a lot of complicated things that happened, and but Comrade Lenin thought that Comrade Xi was going to be liberating all of us, or well, he was at least trolling people.
Place like this doesn't automatically mean like you fucking distribute all of the fucking dollars back to the workers themselves. Workers themselves could get together if it's a small pizza shop,
like
and
a
decide,
Soviet.
hey, you know what? We are going to take a pool of these funds that we're going to accumulate over the course of the fucking month, and we're going to spend it on marketing. This is going to be our
or schools, like they did in the Soviet Union.
Our marketing budget, marketing expenditure. They're going to say, hey, we're going to buy cleaning supplies, like extra cleaning supplies, because I'm the janitor and I'm saying like we need additional cleaning supplies that would make this way more efficient. That's how you would operate, rather than with a top-down approach where you're just like, yeah, fuck you. Here's what you get. Once again, that's revenue, you fool. Dude, shut the fuck up. It doesn't matter. Okay, limit that then. Like, lower it by $1,000. Who gives a fuck, idiot? Why is this so fucking hard for you to understand? We're talking about theory right now, okay?
No, you're not. Because theory involves reading theory. You're not smart enough to make your own theory. So I say anyone who has not progressed from Lenin to, say, I would call Lenin like arithmetic and everyone else algebra, like Mao, and then you should read core and periphery theory, and then go to Xi Jinping thought. I'm reading that right now. It's like great. I love Xi Jinping. I think he might even surpass Mao as my favorite Chinese premier because he's so cool. Okay.
If it's 78 instead of 78, it's fucking $60 an hour. Okay, that's still 3x what you would, more than 3x. That's fucking 6x of what you would average, what you would make average. And this doesn't mean that like all work.
Okay, guess how much you'd make with your Lenin wage? His book, literally his book. Google his book. Okay, we had an episode where we talk about the Lenin wage with Paul Knox. Look that up. Because with Lenin, if you had just took Lenin's calculation, you would be making, everyone in America would be getting $52,000 a year. And if you actually increased it to productivity, it would be all of us getting $900,000 a year. So no, this is peanuts.
Is equally paid, okay? Who takes the risk from lawsuits
There's a
and
course
whatnot?
you can take.
I'll
I'll tweet it out, brother, if you remind me.
Just like when you have a union, you literally fucking pay union dues so you can hire your own lawyers against the corporation that decides to hire anti-union lawyers. Okay, that's how it works. It's literally how insurance works. Thank you for the Jeopardy contestant that said, what is insurance? We use it all the time in every other aspect of our lives. Collectivize the wins and collectivize the losses. So union is going to fight the case. What? Omega
yes,
law?
That's how unions
if
work.
Everyone had a stake or a percentage ownership in the business, both in the means of production that they buy into with their labor over the course of an extended period of time.
Just so you know
then
that,
yes, they would literally do it. It's like if you're
okay, just so you know that co-ops thrived under Mussolini and the stupid one in Spain that had slaves. In Poland, Mondragal, that actually was started under Franco. So no, co-ops. This is really annoying. The West and notice how none of them talk about Huawei being a co-op.
Think about it from the point of view of your fucking daddy's business that you probably have, right?
Or your
daddy's
uncle's
gonna
business.
do everything he can to fucking defend his business, right? You would do everything you can to defend your daddy's business.
Uncle's
when
business.
You know that eventually it's going to get passed down to you, the shitter in my chat. That's how it would work for all of the workers. Now, the reason why I mention this is because, like, you know, this is just a fucking regular Ohio pizza shop, okay? Just a small business in the middle of Ohio. But this concept,
I think Yaris Varoufakis is a lot better. He does understand imperialism and the shock doctrine, and he talks about how the West just kind of blew up Greece. So I don't think with Yaris Varoufakis you get that much, but Richard Wolff, he's not bad when he's talking about China. Like, he did a great job with Destiny, but he does obsess over. I don't mind. He loves co-ops. Sure, you can love co-ops, and yeah, but he has a co-op fetish, and so I don't know what to say other than that. He loves co-ops, and he kind of. So as long as you remember that he has a co-op fetish, and that he it's kind of like somebody who really likes Legos. And they make all these Lego castles. Sure, that's fun. I don't criticize. He's not wrong, but he has a co-op fetish.
Concept is one that has existed throughout history that Marx describes in, I guess, more complicated terms that I'm trying to make easier.
Okay. Did you see me face palming in real life? Okay. Thank you so much, Dmitry Barkovsky. Do you speak Russian? Because I'm learning Russian, and I'd love to have like a language partner that I could sometimes practice. But unless you're Barkovsky, what? It doesn't matter if you don't. Thank you, Dmitry Barkovsky. But no, people in Russia, or by Russia I mean Tsarist Russia, so it included Ukraine, Belarus, Poland, Finland, all those, because Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan. Okay. Oh, actually, can you? Am I pronouncing Lenin's wife's name correctly? Krupskaya, Nadezhda Krupskaya. Okay. Yeah. They learned how to read by reading Marx. So Marx does not use complicated terminology. You just have shown me that you've never read Marx. And sometimes I know Marx can be kind of boring, so go to Engels. Usually I say that whatever Marx says, he's kind of, it could also be that things are lost in translation with Marx. Okay. Well, let's have we should have a Russian, I have a Discord. I will invite people who speak Russian to the Discord so we can have Krupskaya. Nadezhda Krupskaya. Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. So just you have to follow me for me to see your notification, but oh yeah. The thing about me pronouncing words is that please say, this is how you properly pronounce it, and just say the word. And I am good at, when I listen to it, I'm good at copying, but I'm bad at reading. So I misread everything in my head. Thank you. Yeah, so no, Marx is not, okay, don't worry about Giannis. He has a country to kind of take care of, so he needs to be on every platform because the West really screwed over his country.
For you to understand, and I don't have all the answers in how co-ops would fucking operate. You know what I mean? I don't know. Sorry, I'm a bad take. You really think the janitor is capable of making large scale?
Yes. In fact, when you kick out the people who are not janitors, they create the Soviet Union. So yes, they are far better than you.
Allocation decisions like that, they can't even see the top of the hour ad break coming. So how the fuck do you expect them to be?
They can't even see top of the hour ad break. What the hell are you talking about, you mofo?
In charge of their own allocations. I want to collectivize. I think that collective action is bad and wrong, okay, and immoral, and we should stop it, especially when chat collectively fucking tries to debate me into running the fucking ad break, okay? I don't appreciate it. I'm just gonna say it right now. I don't appreciate it. All efforts to unionize chat will be squashed. Yeah, it's top of the fucking hour, okay? It's time for a 60-second ad break. Okay. I'm going to run the ad now. If you'd like to no longer see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or you can do it for free. Twitch Prime is how you can do it for free.
Okay, this is really, thank God, the end. Okay. Okay, he was a lot better than Contra Pinochet, so I give him that. I don't know enough about, I love Amul Foods, and I believe their dairy used to be a co-op, but I haven't kept track yet. So since I don't know about it, I will make a note of it and then get back to you once I know about it. See, this is all you have to do for all the streamers. When somebody asks you a question, you don't know the answer, you say, I don't know. I will make a note and then go figure out the answer. And if and when I figure out the answer, I will answer it properly. Simple, easy. You don't have to answer questions you don't know the answer to. Like, you don't have to talk about books you have not read. You don't have to talk about movies you have not watched. I don't know why this is so hard for people. Oh, the hardest word in Russian for me to get is sun, which is sonse, but it has an L and a T and L and this one, this character, the one that's looks like this. No, you can't figure. How do I do this? Yeah. Anyways, so thank you for checking me out, and yeah, and spasiba. I think I did that correctly. And yeah, I'm still like, I'm learning Russian. Yeah, that's the, yes, this is the character that Dimitri typed it. Right. Thank you. That's, yeah, that's a tsa, I think. Okay. Anyways, oh yeah, I love Russian's good for the brain, actually. I don't know how, but I know it's kind of crazy, but like my teachers are always like kavo, chivo, and like I'm always thinking who, how, who's, and so it like makes me more aware of like Marxism, but it could be just because I'm learning a new language and I am trying to figure out kavo. Oh my god. So whatever. Anyways, with that, okay, so because I've been only learning for about maybe 6 to 7 months, so barely advanced. I know words, I know some sentences, and I know how to read. Yeah, don't come back. Yeah, and with that, and if we don't have any questions or okay, there's really nothing to know about anarchism other than it fails, it doesn't work. Don't listen to losers. I'm back on TikTok, so follow me on TikTok. And with that, I will say, auf Wiedersehen.